So let me get that stuff out here. Look at that, a nice $100 bill. And my inspiration piece is a money holder that I gave my daughter a couple years ago for her birthday that I made. And lucky, that's the beauty of being a stamper and having kids, because they don't want to keep your creations. And so they give them back to you so that you can use them again as inspiration or for somebody else. So this is what we're making. This is a money holder, and it'll hold money. Why won't that go in there? There we go. So it'll hold some money. Super cute. This was my inspiration piece. So I did keep this. And I also have, so this is my template that I just keep in a little box that I have down here full of templates. And you can see I've written the dimensions and everything on it. And so this is what we're going to do. We're going to make this tonight. This would be your front piece if you were so going to do that. And then of course I have written down all the information. So let me tell you what we got here. We have a piece of basic white, thick cardstock. And this measures, let me find my cheating amounts here. 9 3/8 by 6.5. And we are going to score this at 3 1/4 and 6.5. So we've got the arm extended out, and we're going to go 3 1/4, not cutting, 3 1/4, and then 6.5 is right there on the swing out arm. Okay. So now we can put this aside for the moment. And we have, so this is the shortest piece here. So the longest one, we're going to fold up. We fold that up, and then this is going to fold over the top. Okay, so that's kind of what we have. But we need to make an angle on this large piece here. So we're going to bring the trimmer back in. We're going to have the large, so this, you can tell that this is the shorter, this is the longer. So you want the longer piece, and we're going to stick that in, and we're going to stick it in. How do we want to do it? We want to stick it in so that we just take off a little bit right here. So we're going to come down like this on the diagonal. So we're going to stick this in. I've got the point at about 3/4 inch. Okay. So we have most of the card off of the trimmer. So we've got this doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Don't think it has to be perfect. So that's about 3/4 inch. Down here is about in the middle. Not perfect, not in the middle, doesn't make any difference. So you're just going to chop this chunk off and get rid of it. So then what you have is you're going to have that folded up and this folded over. So it just kind of opens like that. So then what you want to do is you do want to add a little bit of glue. You don't want to go crazy because you don't want it to be too thick of glue. So I'm just putting a tiny little bead of glue on the edge here on both ends. Okay. And then I'm going to fold this up. Oh, whoops, you know what I wanted to do? First of all, I do want to add this little strip of glimmer paper. So hold tight with me. This is, and I'll show it here in a minute, but I want to put my glue on here before my other glue dries. We have a new online exclusive, and it is called the 3-color glimmer paper. And so we are going to use some 3-color glimmer paper here. This is about a 1/2 inch strip, give or take. Okay. And now, as you can probably see, I need to add a little glue on this too. Just a tiny bit. Okay, so now I can close this up. And then you can see I will need to cut that off. So this piece here was how long? It wasn't quite long enough, but this is about 6 3/4 by a 1/2 inch, maybe. To be safe, you might want to go 7, because you can see I didn't quite get it, but it's still going to be fine. It still looks good. Okay. And let me snip that off. Okay, so then we should be able to stick our money in there. Yay! And there we go. So anyway, the glimmer paper is, it's the 3-color glimmer paper, so it's Pretty Peacock, the Petal Pink, and the Highland Heather. I did find that this works really well with Fresh Freesia also, because I did include some of this paper in my Fluffiest Friends class that I still have some kits available for, by the way. Link in the description of the video. So I'm including some of this in your Fluffiest Friends class, and so we're using the Pretty Peacock one right now. So that is really fun. Okay, so then, according to my little cheat sheet here, I've got 2 pieces of DSP. If you want to just have one, here's my cheat sheet. So the DSP could be 2 5/8 by 6 1/4. Okay, so that's what this totally measures. Or if you want to cut 2 pieces, like let's just say you only have 6 by 6 paper, you don't have the option of a 12-inch piece, so you need to make 2 pieces. So your 2 pieces can be 1 1/4 by 2 5/8, and then 5 by 2 5/8, and that's what I have here. So I have a 2 5/8 by 5 and a 1 1/4 by 2 5/8, and those are going to be together. So then I actually decided to layer this, and so then this piece here, if you want to layer it, is 2 3/4 by 6 3/8. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up so you guys can take a look at it for a second, write it down if you need to, whatever. And then here is the actual dimensions of the whole thing, 9 3/8 by 6 1/2, scored at 3 1/4 and 6 1/2, and then cut the large end with the point at 3/4, and then we chop it off. So there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my 2 pieces of Designer Series paper to my layer of Pretty Peacock. And now this paper is the Walk in the Forest, I believe is what it is called. It is the paper that is at the front of the holiday mini catalog. And I think it's $3 from the sale of every pack of this paper goes to the Toys for Tots Foundation. All right. So it's a good cause, and if you haven't got some of this paper and you're feeling festive and all that good stuff, go ahead and get yourself some. And I did use both of these patterns. Both come from that collection. And so then, of course, I have a seam that I want to cover. So I have another 1/2-inch strip of the glimmer paper, and this is also 2 5/8. And so I'm going to add that over my seam so that I don't have a seam. Okay. There we go. So of course these money holders, once you get the basic shape down, you know, you can decorate them any way you want. You can take as little time or as much time as you want. Like this one here, literally so simple. I just cut a piece of Designer Series paper, a circle, and then these old style flowers that we had. That literally probably took me 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? This one's going to take a little bit longer just because I'm doing a little bit more with it. And then I'm going to add this to the front here. So let me get some glue onto this. And we'll add that to the front. And our second part of this project is going to be an envelope for it, because obviously Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell envelopes for something this style or this size, because I kind of made it up. It's not a standard size envelope at all. So you can either make your envelope out of cardstock or Designer Series paper, whatever you desire. And I'm going to make mine out of cardstock. Okay. Whoops. I feel like my little bit of glimmer paper is still showing over there. Okay. So there we go. And now we have a scrap. And I decided to bring in the sparkling snowflakes for this cute little phrase here that says make the season sparkle. I thought it was kind of appropriate with all the sparkly paper that I have on this. And since my colors are the Balmy Blue and the Pretty Peacock, we're going to go Balmy Blue for the sentiment. And then I have a peacock layer. So let's just stamp this. This is the Balmy Blue. And then I have my, I don't know what it's called. I call it a double oval. I know that's not the actual name of it. It should be because it makes the most sense, but it's not. Oval duo. I don't know. Anyway, the 2 ovals. So we're going to pop that out. And and then we're going to stick it onto our glimmer paper, and I'm going to go ahead and use some dimensionals, and I've got some dimensional pieces here. You can see I tried to do the pretty peacock, but I liked the other color better. Got some dimensional ends I need to use up, and then this of course is the scallopy oval from the same punch. And now we're going to try to center this. Somebody double, oh, I was right. Or did I say oval duo? I don't remember. But thank you, Cheryl. Okay, there we go. And then we're just going to add that over here on the front. Then I kind of thought, you know what I need? I need some sparkly snowflakes, you guys. And so I kind of searched through my stash of goodies, and I found that the Season of Chic, I don't think that's what they're called, chic dies? I think they're called the chic dies. Let's take a look-see here, because I can't remember. You know how I am. Yes, our chic dies have some cute snowflakes in them, you guys. So I went ahead and die cut some snowflakes out of the glimmer paper, and we're going to add a few to the front here, because why not? Let's just go more bling, more bling, more bling, right? So I'm just going to add some glue. If I was smart, I would have used adhesive sheets, and I say that every single time that I'm not smart and never use adhesive sheets. But luckily for me, I am pretty handy with the liquid glue. And so I don't always need the adhesive sheets because I'm pretty handy with it. I can usually get it on and not make a mess, usually. All right, and we're going to add this maybe like so. Okay, so now we have some bling on the front. Oh my gosh, we've got a lot of money on the inside. Who wouldn't want to open that up and find that, right? I am going to go ahead and burnish this down a little bit more. Since it was thick white, it does need to be burnished a little bit. And there we go. Okay, so then the last thing I wanted to do was just bring in some embellishments. We've got these cute, oh, you know what we could do? I remembered I pulled these stamps out. We're going to find the Pretty Peacock ink, and we might stamp a couple of snowflakes. Let's see. Let's hope this doesn't ruin it. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of planning it, but not planning it. So what if I just added a couple of ooh, maybe we should do a large one in that, and then a small one in some balmy blue. Hopefully this doesn't look terrible when we're done. Oh, yay. I think that just adds a little festiveness to it, so we're going to leave it. Well, I mean, we have to leave it because I'm not going to redo the whole thing. But anyway, I do have some, these are from the main catalog, the big catalog, and they're called Adhesive Backed Sequins Trio. And you can see we have the Pretty Peacock ones, we have some white, and so I wanted to, I don't know what I want to do. I wasn't sure yet. Oh, my Take Your Pick tool just fell apart. What do you know about that? Maybe we'll just use the smaller ones here, and maybe we'll just kind of, ooh, I kind of feel like I need one on here. There. I think that's good. Okay. So here's our holder. Let me get my Take Your Pick tool back together here. So there's our holder. Now we need an envelope to put this in, right? So let me get the stuff for the envelope out. Okay. Oh, I need my trimmer, obviously. So I decided to make mine out of basic white cardstock. You could do anything. And I would have picked the Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper. But like a dum-dum, I cut all of my paper into 6x12. Why I did that, I do not know. Sometimes I do dumb things down here. This was a dumb thing. So if you have the paper, you might want to make it out of the paper because I think that would be a little bit cuter. But we're going to make it good. We're going to stamp some snowflakes on it. So anyway, my piece of white is 9.5 by 8. I'm going to score it at 3 7/16 and 7.5. Now, if you can't do 3 7/16, you can go 3.5. It'll probably work just fine. But I'm going to do the 16th just because. Okay, and then I said 7.5, so I'm going to pull my arm out here and go with the half. There we go. Whoops. Almost knocked my light over. So then I have 2 score lines. I'm going to fold this one up and burnish it. And then I do have quite a bit at the top there. And then I'm folding that one down. Okay, so this is all I have. It's just a standard envelope. It's definitely big enough to mail. The post office requires things to be at least 3.5 by 5. This will be 3.5 by whatever we said. And for the closure, I'm just going to use tear and tape. So I'm just going to run some tear and tape across the top here. And that way, like if you're making this for somebody else, you know, then they could seal it up themselves. Like if you have a friend that says, hey, I know you're really crafty. Can you make something for me? You say, absolutely, I can. And then you just put some tear and tape on there and then they can close it themselves. But I decided I wanted a little bit of decorative something on this flap because this is kind of boring. So I decided to bring out this trio punch, and I don't remember exactly what it's called. I think it's the something trio punch. And I'm going to use this fun little doohickey here. And there is a guide on the side of the punch. You would line up your paper next to the guide. And then we're going to punch. And then, oh, let me make sure I'm doing this right. It's been a while since I've used this. Let me bring in a scrap, because I got to remember you got to flip it or something. So there's one side. Now, if I just go over here and do this, I don't think they're going to match. Let's look. Nope, you can see that the hump is here and the hump is here, so they don't match. So again, we started like this. I think what we have to do is flip our paper over and then stick it in. Yes, that's what we have to do. So we stuck it in like this. So now we're going to flip it over and stick it in like this, and then we should be good. Okay, so now we have a little bit of fun detail on our envelope. And then all you have to do is just add some glue to the sides here. And we'll glue this side too. And I like to glue it with my thing inside, because when you're gluing something together, you want to make sure that it's going to be thick enough to hold your item. So if you put your item in there when you're gluing it, then it will definitely be thick enough. So it's not being perfect, but it doesn't matter, because, you know, someone's going to just rip this up anyway, and then we can close it. So while that's drying, actually it's probably dry by now, I'm going to slide that back out, and we're going to decorate the front. So we're going to do what we did, but I'm going to try using the trees out of the Berry Christmas stamp set. And I've lost all my ink, so bear with me here. So I'm going to stamp a tree in Balmy Blue. Whoops, I don't want to get that all over. And I'm going to stamp this one kind of off the page. Oh, you could probably see me. And then this one I'm going to stamp here, so fully on the page. And then we're going to bring in the pretty peacock and stamp our outline over the top. Oh, it looks like I should have done the outline first, but thankfully it's basically really forgiving. So even if you don't do it completely right, quote unquote, the envelope size was 9.5 by 8, and then I scored it at 3 7/16 and 7.5. You could score it at 3.5 if you are not familiar with 16ths. So there you go. Okay, then we still have those snowflakes, so why not add a few snowflakes here? That might be kind of fun. And we'll do a little one there and a little one there, and then maybe another big one right down here. Then I thought we could do the flap also with just some snowflakes on it. So the big one, and of course you could, what am I trying to say? You could clean this off and do it in the blue if you wanted to, rather than what I'm doing, where I'm just kind of keeping the small one in the balmy and then the big one in the, what do you call it? Peacock. Losing my mind. I'm trying to concentrate on stamping, and so I'm I couldn't recall. Okay. So let me get my ink out of the way. My punch and all this other stuff. And then here we go. So we have our envelope. We can shove our little money holder in there. We've got the tear and tape ready to roll if we want to go that route. And there it is. Who wouldn't like to get that? And it can totally be mailed. You can just put a stamp on there. You might need to put an extra stamp on here just because this is a little bit thick. The post office doesn't like that too much, so you might have to put an extra stamp on. But yeah, I thought that was kind of fun. It's money holders that I make every single year because they are so simple. And when I give them to my kids, I get them back so I can keep them as samples. All right. Pull that out again. There we go.